Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. I'm Joy Fay and I'm an artist and teacher. And normally on my channel I do art tutorials and my goal is to help you develop your art skills and creativity and learning to paint. But today I thought I would do something a little bit different. And the reason for that is in a few days' time, I think it's the 23rd of November today. In a few days, I'm going to be 71. Don't tell anybody. But it's kind of a bit of a scary thought in many respects. Because, I think when I look at, my audience who are watching my tutorials in art, we're all around about from, I guess, 50, 55 upwards. So we start, and I've noticed now, we start to count down and wonder about our life, what we're doing, what our purpose is. And, this thought comes to me so much. And I felt that it would be nice to share it because, I'm an artist, but I'm also all the other things as well. I have my life and I have all the challenges and wonderful things that go with that. And, hitting 71 is a real milestone. I thought it was for 70, but 70 was sort of like a celebration. 71 is kind of a reality check. So as I was having a shower this morning, I thought, you know what, why don't I talk about what it's like as an artist, as a 71 nearly year old woman. I'm divorced, I'm single. I've had two husbands and that was an interesting time in my life. And I have a lovely son, a dog and a cat. And, my life is these days, very quiet. I love just painting. I love teaching. I love doing my videos. I love making my courses. And that's where my life revolves around, really. And I deliberately took a step back to come and live in the mountains and have some time really for life reflection. And I'm very lucky to be able to do that. I really, I get that. And it's taught me a lot of interesting things. And one of them is, it doesn't really matter what age you are. You still have to have a purpose. You have to have a reason for getting up in the morning and doing something. And for me to be creative. And I talk to very many people about this. And, when I'm in correspondence with students, a lot of them come to me, and maybe this applies to you, because they want to fill in a space. They want to have a reason and that purpose. And it can be for so many different reasons. For me, starting painting seriously, I was in my early 20s. And very sadly, I'd gone through a terrible traumatic situation because my first son, Nathaniel, he died at the age of 6 months, and it was completely devastating, as you can imagine. And my guardian, that's another very big story, which I might talk about one of these days, but suffice it to say, he was an artist and a philosopher. And he said to me after this had happened, Joy, the best thing you can do here is to start healing from this terrible trauma was to start painting. And he started to teach me watercolors. And it was a wonderful new space for me because my previous life, before I'd got married, I'd been a professional dancer. I'd gone to stage school. So I went through ballet and modern dance and drama and singing, and I'd done some amazing things. I'd had some fantastic jobs dancing. I'd been in, I don't know if any of you remember the film The Boyfriend with Twiggy and Tommy Tune. Well, I was dancing in that when I was 17 with the director, Ken Russell, who was a very frightening figure. And I will tell you a story about him a little bit later. But anyway, I'd done a tremendous amount before I got married. I was very lucky. I'd had an adventure. I'd lived in London and it was great. And then I got married and obviously sort of things change. And really, I think looking back, I sort of got married to escape my situation at the time. And although my husband was a very, what would I say, a debonair and, tall, dark and handsome, he was like, whoa. And I thought really I'd cracked it. And but I was kind of, the reality check kicked in not very long into me being married. And the death of Nathaniel really highlighted a lot of challenges. Anyway, fast forward, I started painting and really getting into it. And then I fell pregnant again. And I had my second son when I was, I think, 25. And that was just an amazing experience, but also fairly dramatic because I had some problems with the pregnancy and landed up in hospital for nearly 5 months. So he was born 7 weeks premature. So it was all, again, quite a drama one way and another. And he was tiny. He was 2 pounds 5 ounces when he was born. And it was very touch and go for both of us. But obviously we pulled through. And now he's a strapping 45-year-old, and that's fantastic. But anyway, life sort of started taking on all different kinds of avenues, unexpected avenues. And, this happens in our life, doesn't it? But, when I look back and you reflect on different decisions and things that you made, I often wonder, why did I make that decision? But anyway, I decided I really wanted to take my art seriously, and I applied to the Manchester Art School. It was College of Art then, and I got in and I started my course there, which was fantastic. But in the middle of that, my husband decided he wanted to disappear with somebody else, and life changed completely. And I couldn't continue the course, but I continued painting, and I've really painted ever since. I'll talk about what happened from then to a while later at another time, because I don't want to be here all day, and I'm sure you don't want to listen to me all day. But, those early days, really, they have an impact on you, don't they, for the rest of your life and what you did. And it's sliding doors at the end of the day, isn't it? You take this one or you take that one. And some of them were fantastic and some of them definitely weren't. But anyway, really what I wanted to very much talk about is how art and painting has saved me on so many occasions and given me something to learn about myself that I could feel really good about. Sometimes, I don't know, it doesn't apply to everybody, but I think it applies to quite a lot of people, that things are just okay and we trundle along and we accept our circumstances. And then maybe, when you hit this age of 70, nearly 71, you start thinking, well, perhaps I could do something to complete that feeling inside, to actually achieve something personal, something that means something to yourself. And I think that's the point, and that's where I feel very strongly about. And painting, learning to paint and going through this whole process has really done that. And I continue to learn. Every day I have new ideas, new things I want to just, to try and experiment with, and new challenges. And one of the challenges was very much happened in the pandemic, because I was teaching. I was teaching at an art centre. I ran an art centre for a while, and then I was teaching classes at home, having exhibitions, and it was fine. And then obviously when the pandemic happened, a lot of things changed. So I started putting all my classes and workshops online and making online courses. But I had to learn how to do that. I didn't know anything of the technical side of it, how to film it, how to edit it, how to market it. I still don't know a great deal about that, but anyway, it took off, and I was really, really happy about it. And really that sort of set a new step for me. And I've carried on learning and learning and learning. And now, in this moment, I'm just launching a new course, and it's a taster course, so it's a free course, to lead on to a 4-week course, which I'm putting together now. The Ultimate Art Connection, it's called. And it's a real challenge, but it's sort of like completing my entire journey of my art and going through, all the stages up to now. And the reason for me doing it, it's not a course on techniques and skills as such, because I've done so many of those courses, and I teach a lot of those here on YouTube. But the thing that I was noticing was that myself, actually, to start with, but also students, maybe you who's listening, that there has to be something more to just learning to paint, learning the skills, learning about colour mixing and composition and textures and all this, that, and the other. There must be something more to it, rather than just sort of painting pictures. That we wanted to have that feeling of putting our heart and soul into our painting. And that led me to really do quite a lot of research into the spiritual approach of painting, intuitive painting, free painting, something that comes from your heart. So I've been working on that now for quite some time, and that course is coming out shortly. But it's given me so many other so much more food for thought about my life and about, where I'm up to. Because, in the past, in all the other ventures that I've done, you're always goal setting. How do you see yourself in 6 months? And how do you see yourself in 2 years? And I remember doing, I used to teach at some point in time sales training on goal setting, and it was, where are you in 5 years' time? Visualize where you're going to be in 10 years' time. And now I think, oh my God, visualize myself in 10 years' time. I'm going to be nearly 81 if I'm still here. So it kind of starts to be a little bit of a countdown, or what would you call it? A count up. But countdown. What am I going to do in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, to complete something that's valuable to me about my life, that I can have something that I can feel really congruent with and really good about. And I feel that I'm not the only one, I think, that thinks that. I think we all think that at some point or another. And I think the older you get, the more that comes to play, that we want something that's really purposeful and makes us feel worthy and good and valuable. And I think that's really important. And that realization, I think, has given me a lot to think about and what I wanted to share. So I might sort of start doing more of these. If you like what I have to say, if you resonate with any of it, then do leave a comment, ask me some questions, or tell me your experience. And would you like to hear more about my life behind the canvas and just teaching paintings? Because, I feel that I'd like to do life tutorials as well as art tutorials. I'd like to talk about some of my experiences. Really, I'd probably like to write a book, but actually, I'm a little bit dyslexic, and I find that really hard. So rather than maybe write the book, maybe just tell the story, and if people like to listen to it, great. And if you don't, well, it doesn't matter. You might not have got this far, but if you have, thank you for watching. And please, tell me if any of this resonates with you. If you're looking to find a new purpose, or you're realizing new things in your life as you're, getting to this stage of your life, how things have changed, how differently you might think about things if you have a different perspective. I certainly do. I think, things I used to get angry with and frustrated with and upset about, I kind of let that go a lot more than I ever used to, and see it differently. So, maybe you feel the same. So I'd love to hear your thoughts, and if you'd like me to do another video like this. And if you do, then I will. So have a wonderful day, and I'll probably see you again when I'm 71. Oh my goodness. Okay, thanks for watching. Lots of love. Bye for now.